With Christmas now out the way, we can look forward to the brand new year, and 2026 is only a few days away. This year is going to be absolutely massive for Xbox, and we have some cracking titles to look forward to for both our consoles and Xbox Game Pass for this January alone. With that though, my name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation, and let's just dive into the top 15 new Xbox and Game Pass games coming our way in January 2026. First up, and on the 8th of January, we have a little indie game coming to us from tinyBuild, and it's called I Am Future Cozy Apocalypse Survival, and this one is a console port of the already successful PC outing. Upon having a bit of a deeper look here, Steam players have really been enjoying the single-player cozy post-apocalyptic survival simulator title for quite some time, with many actually enjoying the fun take within this genre. What is great is that upon its release, we'll be able to play the current version with all of the updates added so far, and apparently there has been a ton of content added as well since its initial release. One word I do keep seeing across the board when it comes to reviews though is addicting, so yeah, this is another one of those games that will no doubt attach itself to many players for multiple hundreds of hours. Again, it does land on the Xbox on the 8th of January, and it is the first game to start us off in 2026. The Pathologic games are real cult classics, and they are beloved by so many players out there due to its deep characters, branching narrative choices, and punishing consequences. That is why the release of Pathologic 3, which is still scheduled for this January, is eagerly anticipated by many amongst us. While the Pathologic games are notoriously tough, this one provides the player with a brand new tool, being that time travel, and it looks to really sort of shake up that traditional formula. Much like the previous installments though, Pathologic 3 tasked the Bachelor with saving the town within 12 days. However, time travel will now let him go back and forth and influence key events, shaping the story as an entirety. From the short snippets I've seen and just having a look at all the information on hand that have been spilled by the devs, it's definitely shaking up to be a cracking brand new entry. This one also lands on the 9th of January, and it's a horror fan's wet dream. Whilst it is not yet set in concrete, Ubisoft's long-awaited Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake is reportedly finally going to be released in mid-January next year. According to a report on Insider Gaming, citing sources closer to the game, the report states that we will probably get another look at this game fairly soon, with the release date will be made official this January. While an exact release date hasn't yet been confirmed by Ubisoft, the French publisher has previously confirmed that this remake will launch by April 2026. If you do remember though, this was the one that was absolutely lambasted online when it was revealed, as it genuinely looked pretty atrocious. Hopefully the team over there have done their homework and Ubisoft do right the ship on this one, as it could be a decent title to start off in 2026. It is certainly looking like another decent year for all of you horror fans, and one that is coming in mid-January is called BrokenLore Follow. To give you some sense of what this franchise really is, it's essentially a single-player psychological horror anthology, so each game stands alone yet feeds into a larger mystery spanning the series. Every chapter follows a different protagonist facing very human fears, that being identity, shame, the pressures to be seen, and so much more, and they're all sort of translated into oppressive liminal spaces, diegetic puzzles, and predator-prey chases. What really looks to set BrokenLore apart though from the rest of the franchise is just how the world will shift with your character's psyche, and it really makes it incredibly unique compared to others within the horror genre. I was absolutely freaked out alone when I watched the trailer, and I will never be playing this, I can guarantee that. But hey, if you're a horror fan and you want some scares, then definitely check this one out as soon as possible. 2025 was of course a very great year for Metroidvanias as a whole, and we have yet another great one landing at the start of this year. A small little indie studio dropped a brand new trailer not too long ago now for its mesmerizing Metroidvania platformer called Mio: Memories in Orbit. Not only did we get a rather poetic voiceover, but we also got a look at the haunting low-light visuals to get us in the mood to smack some mean old robots. From what I know so far, Mio looks to tell an unsettling tale of lost memories and a technological abyss of a space ark full of rogue machines. It does feel particularly poignant though, with the actual real-life fear of robot overlords increasing daily. There is not much to really go into with regards to the gameplay, but it does look really tight and pretty decent. This actually all started out as well from a Kickstarter campaign, so I know it's highly anticipated by many out there, and it is indeed also coming to Xbox Game Pass on the 20th of January as a day one release. For me, my most anticipated release for this January just has to be Final Fantasy VII, and after trying the demo on Xbox this week, it sold me entirely. I know many out there have probably played this one or already know what happens, as it is a full remake of the 7th mainline entry from many years ago, and it's been insanely popular amongst many out there. Of course, it finally makes its way onto our Xbox consoles after many years, and from the demo experience, it seems solid performance-wise, even on the Series S. To be honest, I'm really looking forward to getting to know more, as I've actually never played this one, one. The only Final Fantasy games that I've ever played is 13, 13-2, and 16, so I'm really excited to see what the hype is about this one. I would be curious to know if you're going to pick this one up, or are you going to wait for some reviews? Do let me know down below, and of course I will come out with some more content about this nearer that release date. If you want an experience like Anno, but in a really unique stylization and meant to be more approachable for a lot of us beginners, then Nova Roma is officially coming to Xbox for PC via Game Preview on the 22nd of January. It will also be available day one onto Xbox Game Pass, which is incredible, and to be honest, we've been seeing way more PC-only Game Pass releases these days, and I fully expect that, especially as Xbox said PC is their fastest growing sector. As mentioned though, this is a brand new city builder, which is focused on building a new Roman Empire away from the original one, and yes, it's all sort of low poly Anno, which has me very intrigued. You'll be able to build your empire up from nothing as you gain new citizens and new resources, and that ultimately fuels your empire in its many buildings. From residencies to giant dams, there's a little something to utilise for every occasion, and it does look like it can get pretty in-depth if you're a hardcore strategy fan. Of course, this will be an early access release, so I don't expect a console release at any time in the short term, but I do hope it's smooth sailing when it lands on PC in its first instance. For me, Dynasty Warriors Origins was a very welcome surprise last January, and although I was a little bit iffy though on the whole sort of single character element, I still had a really decent time, and I would say it was a welcome return to form for this franchise. Well, a new and pretty sizable DLC is finally landing onto Xbox on the 22nd of January, and I'm very thrilled that we're getting some more content for this game. This one though is called Visions of the Four Heroes, and it will let you team up with factions outside of the Three Kingdoms. It's kind of like an alternative timeline scenario where the likes of Yuan Shao and Lu Bu will finally become your allies. You'll also be able to play as Zhuhei, who's a prominent supporting character within the base adventure if you've already played Origins. It's not long now until release, and this one looks bloody awesome. Talking of other things that are awesome, and if you're loving the daily Xbox content, then please do subscribe down below. At the moment, over 66% of you are not subscribed, and I would just love you to join our incredible and growing Xbox community. I would say also to feel free to join our great Xbox Nation Discord server, as we speak about things Xbox, play games together, and yes, we even send some pictures of some food. God, it makes me hungry. Anyway, I digress. Thanks so much for your support this year, and let's dive back into the games coming our way for this January. Inspired by the likes of stuff like Paper Mario RPGs, this next game is an adventure RPG that also began life as a Kickstarter campaign. It does seem like we're having a couple of lovely indies finding success lately. This one though is called Escape the Ever After, and it finally lands onto all of the Xbox consoles on the 23rd of January, and it's looking like a lovely whimsical adventure. The entire story in this one centers around a greedy megacorp, and they are from the real world, and they then start taking over fairy tales for their cheap labor. Of course, as you can kind of imagine, a newly hired storybook hero must climb the corporate ladder, rally together other disgruntled employees, and then fight back. From what I've seen, there seems to be some lovely worlds for us to explore, and I'm also really sort of digging that turn-based strategy combat aspect. It's really right up my street, and I cannot wait for its release this January. Well, Concord 2.0 might actually be a very real reality, as Highguard is due to make its full release on the 26th. Yes, this one is free to play though, so it might actually fare a better outcome as we can all try it before we buy, unlike the $40 price tag of something like Concord. But with all of that and what we've seen so far, I'm really not at all intrigued by the gameplay overall. If you aren't aware though, this is another 5v5 hero shooter, but it's being made by ex-Respawn developers who've worked on the likes of Titanfall and Apex Legends. They are stating that this is a new breed of shooter, and I'm still kind of confused as to what's new actually within this reveal. Yes, we now have some mounts, but other than that, it looks pretty generic. I know it does sound like I'm being negative about this one, but in a day and age where this market is so oversaturated, it's really hard to find some positives here. I will still hold my judgment and give it a go when it does arrive, but yeah, I'm really not holding my breath on this one. I am keen to hear what you guys and gals think about this one in the comments below though, and are you excited for this one? I Hate This Place is a really incredible looking experience, and it's basically taken all of us players to a warped wilderness where unfathomable creatures and an unforgiving environment will challenge our own survival skills. As you can see on screen now, there is an absolutely insane looking bold comic book art style. The premise of the game is rather simple as well. We'll have to explore this world, scavenge for different resources, and then craft a variety of weapons. By day, of course, we will go and gather those supplies, craft some equipment, and then fortify a shelter ready for nightfall. And when all the hell breaks loose at that time frame, it gets pretty intense. We finally got a gameplay trailer not too long ago now, and it just takes everything up a notch, and I'm falling even more in love with the art direction here. If you are interested, it was due to launch sometime in 2025, but it was pushed back to early 2026, and is now set for the end of January. A rather unknown indie studio called One Way Ticket Studios is bringing out a really cool looking zombie shooter, and they are saying it's going to be a very hardcore experience. It is being described as a blend of Dying Light and Hunt Showdown, as it throws us into a mega complex called Liberty Grand Center. I didn't actually realise until I was making this video and did a little bit more research that it's actually a PvPvE experience, as it's an extraction shooter. This means you can play solo or in trios, and you essentially have to scavenge for loot, kill zombies, and escape by any means necessary. This one is actually launching into early access, so of course you are buying in early, but from the demo and the early preview so far, it sounds bloody fantastic. It even hit the top 7 game demos on the Steam Next Fest, which is a massive achievement for this incredible indie dev, and I wish them all the success this January. After many years of speculation, Bandai Namco officially confirmed that Code Vein 2 was real and is finally heading to Xbox in 2026, and for the life of me, I cannot believe we're getting a sequel. This sequel though looks to build on the 2019 cult favourite, which fused Souls-like gameplay with anime flair and a very unique post-apocalyptic vampire world. A lot of us fans have been waiting and hoping for a long time for a follow-up, and the reveal trailer that we saw really reignited that excitement, and the gameplay we've seen so far from the additional trailers looks bloody fantastic. My first impressions were absolutely flabbergasted, as the fluid combat, stylish character designs, and glimpse of the new abilities had me so excited. What made the original stand out though, if you haven't played it, was just a blend of heart, atmosphere, and challenge, and Code Vein 2 looks to really set to refine that formula. After 6 years of waiting, it's almost finally over, and my hype for this one is absolutely justified, and it will finally land this January on the 30th. Riot Games is of course entering the fighting genre with 2XKO, and they're bringing their popular sort of League of Legends universe to brawlers for the very first time. This one though is a 2v2 fighter and is also built around teamwork and synergy. You will pick 2 champions and then face off in some fast-paced battles that do reward your quick reflexes and also strategy. From what I've seen and from what other players have also mentioned, is that the combat here is very deep yet approachable, with lots of combos, special moves, and character abilities designed to really keep that gameplay flowing. It's also going free to play, so there's no excuse not to try it when it drops in 2026, and what's cool is that each champion also comes with their own unique abilities inspired by their League of Legends counterparts. I know that the free beta was currently ongoing and it was pretty well received, so I know this January release is very anticipated. For me personally though, I'm kind of a bit sick of these tag team fighters. I was kind of hoping for a one-on-one element, bear in mind that we've had quite a lot of these sort of tag team fighters already, like Mortal Kombat 1, but hey, I'll hold my judgment on this one, and I just can't wait to see how it fares for Riot Games next year. Last month, I knew we were getting very close to the long-awaited 1.0 release of strategy gem Terra Invicta. We do now know though that it will leave Xbox Game Preview on the 5th of January, and the 1.0 release will still be available on Xbox Game Pass. The strategy game got a boatload of new additions in its release candidate 1 update from November, adding stuff like new achievements, region annexing mechanics, and a bunch of new regions for Earth to mess around with. This new update though set the game up for its final release, and the 1.0 update will also be adding a new 2026 scenario that updates the world situation to the present day. It looks pretty interesting, but I know it's one of the most hardcore strategy survival games on Xbox Game Pass at the moment, so if you do want to jump into it and try it, then you can do right now before that 1.0 release date. What game are you looking forward to this January? I would actually be keen to hear your thoughts on these games in the comments below, and let's have a discussion about it. Remember to also smash that like button if you did enjoy this, and subscribe as well, as I have some massive videos and a ton of content coming your way in 2026, as it's going to be a huge year for Xbox, including their massive 25th anniversary. If you do want to check out some more awesome content here on the channel though, why don't you check out the video on screen now? I actually covered the 30 best Xbox Game Pass games of the entirety of 2025, and there's a lot of games that did come out that are well worth diving into as soon as possible.